some joy in the reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you have come down to us. Tell me what is troubling you. Why are you striking? We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limits, and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top-deck units are being sent down here. Like that 1-3 that the lieutenant won't let pass. Because they found a heretic stuff in one of your crew members. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who had just about enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. A death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Awareness test succeeded. The words seem sincere to you. Their body language and the glances traded between them reveal that the news of the attack has shocked them. Oh, so they didn't know. Striking? That's new to us, your lordship, says a tall, thin man in worker's garb. All we are doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes onto you. Here's the deal, your lordship. You damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they are looking for cultists. One wrong word and they are reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to whole base for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spittle with the toe of her worn-out shoe. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's death are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vand is the only enforcers officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and has no fellow feeling towards us. Oh, the green man with a scarred face throws up his arms. Your lordship, we are no villains here. We are honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly. And now we've got guns pointed at us. All we are doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. Valid point. The persecution started apropos of nothing you say. I was told that one of you was found in possession of the cultist amulet and that there are heretics hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The Guga they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics amongst us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But now, could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Yet, Voidfear started a heresy mutiny on this ship. so you didn't know your own? Definitely not. And if there were, we'd be the first to report them. You didn't report anything. And as for this amulet or whatever it is, they look it off a dead body. They took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector. That's for sure. But when the fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody's ever thread these decks in boots so fine. I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. So someone from the upper decks went down. Those boots really were fine, and there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, so someone from up came down and died, and they found the amulet on him. As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we are walking, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your lordship, we are people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch-enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago, the last time we saw a confessor in our sector. It was just after I'd had my third little one. So long ago or not? Doesn't explain anything. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Do you have anything to add, Abelard? I authorized the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive actions. They will all try to kill me, won't they? If they find... Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled and having to explain himself in the Walker's presence. Was it really necessary to torture these people with cold? Yeah, was this necessary? The rabble understands only one language, Lord Captain, that of violence. So you should just go down there and beat the hell out of them. Or just seize them. As per regulations, should the laborers' priests, in their unwillingness to cooperate, the next step is limiting air supplies and cutting of water, which is almost certain to restore order. You assholes! The peasants can grumble all they want, but in the end, they are the source of their own misery. All they have to do is bow their heads and fall in line. And the need for punitive measures will disappear? You assholes! What changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us bilge rats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms, and we will govern ourselves. We will defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of those club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. If I give you a weapon to your hand, will I have any... will you tell me that... will you promise me that you won't fall into the void, Wolololo? And you won't start shooting everyone around? You've gone too far, old man. They will never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They'll probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first days out, we will have some shooting their neighbors out of stupidity of drunkenness. Yes, you would do this. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that will be enough. In return, we will find the scavengers who robbed the cultists' body. And we will talk to them. On lower decks to another. If there are any more than damn amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. How would you give them to enforcers if there will be none? What? You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real changes. I want real change. They will promise us to world no, but as soon as the anointed one turns his back, those brutals will be on us even harder than before. All because we dared to speak out. True. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. 100%. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step toward embracing chaos. Putting weapon into untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands, and we will consider the rest. What are those? Profit factor. -1. Oh! Others to be withdrawn from this sector and you will given weapons, so let's see how you cope governing yourselves and what difference it makes. You have failed to convince me of a trustworthiness. Thoughts, Abelards? The story about scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. Me neither. These people were moments away from rebelling and possibly becoming minions of the archenemy. We must not give them what they want, even if they did acquire something innocently. Purely out of their own stupidity, that does not mean they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I have seen it before. Abelard's face darkens momentarily. In my second war, there was a surgeon in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found a single not a single survivor. Only the pocket knife, which had grown through all the rows of beds, like a metal choking vine. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever they'll turn into next, my verdict is simple: give them no quarter. Where do you stand for it? Give the rebel a Grox, and they will take an Agri-World Lord Captain. Give them a finger, and they will take all. They will take hand. They only understand brute force and will intercept any concession and as a sign of weakness. Giving them weapons and recalling the enforcers would be folly. It will only be a matter of time before we have a full-scale mutiny on our hands. And I am good with withdrawing them, but I'm not good with the guns. This unrest ends now. Everyone who was involved will be eliminated. This would be heretical stuff. No, this would be heretical stuff. Or give them weapons, give them something, and kill all the leaders. Coercion test successful. Ugh. The tall worker they call Rivet shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old woman. Old man, listen, listen. The Lord Captain himself has come down to us and is offering concession. And I don't know a single person in the world of Depot 4 who's ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talked to them. Back down. Now is no time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old man. The three clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made our minds up. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us a weapon. We don't need any of that. The old woman hisses in dissatisfaction. You two are ganging up on me. Is that it? So brave you are against an old woman, but I'll shut up. I will, indeed. I won't go against two clans leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great, just fantastic. Lord Captain, we are all agreed. Then it's decide. The persecution will stop, and I will expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by cultists. You have failed to convince me. Okay. Your lordship, thank you. You have not abandoned us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. And I got fuel and provisions. Cool. Of course, your lordship will root out any nasty businesses faster than the enforcers, and we will leave no stone unturned. That's great, but I think there should be a third option. Like, just leave them alone and don't give them guns.
I see what others do not.
And what do you see? What do your eyes see? I see goods. Ooh, a multi-key. I'll take that. For what are those valves? The bay, the workers have dragged there. Blah blah blah. The page is where the start of each shift is marked. The last part missing. Okay. So we did what we had to do, but I wonder what is wrong with those pipes. I can reach there and I cannot at the same time.
my feet.
Let's speak with no one. No one. Okay. Let's get back. More reading. Stopping unexpectedly. Abelard impreciously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your older companion, saying, I have an urgent matter to discuss with Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Abelard looks at you and his last vestiges of resistance vanish. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to the disloyal rabble. You believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, the rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valencia's Protectorate? Do not speak to your captain in that tone. Why are you so angry? I solved the problem. There is some truth to your criticism. I should say so, Abelard he has sigh, but he visibly relaxes. You simply needed to trust me. I trust your opinions, but damn, killing all of the people or turning the water or heat? I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene, Abelard says irascibly. Remember Lord Captain Theodora. I don't know Lord Captain Theodora. I didn't serve under her. Do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers, while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora had spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There is a new Lord Captain aboard this ship now, and I will not respect her mistake. I would be only too willing to trust in my seneschal and not fill my head with such matters, but the situation had spiraled out of control. Give me a reason why I should continue listening to your advice and trusting your judgment. Right now, I don't see any. So yeah, the first one would be the evil, harsh truth, but I think I would go with the second one. Yeah, I will go with the second one. Abelard's face relaxes slightly. You are right, at least as concerns junior officers making complaints directly to you. And Abelard stands straight at attention. I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. Why this long explanation? Abelard speaks slowly, the words not coming easily to him. The prosperity of the Von Valencia's Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. The rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. By forging new routes and capture worlds? That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I came from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers, on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. Well, maybe if she just speak with those people. I bet someone knew about Wh40k. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible. And to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Proceeds that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed access to requirements. Yeah, but those people just had enough. Trusted in the star of Brazil and she died. I won't make the same mistake. If you want to keep building the future of the Valencia's protectorate with me, stop living in the past. That's yet again harsh truth. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. A world where Theodora is gone and where you and I have new decisions to make. That's cool. The prosperity of the Valencia's protectorate is just as important to me. You are the only person who has comprehensive knowledge of how things are run on this ship. I think in the future I will follow your recommendations. Nope. If it's about killing everyone around you see, if it's just killing little children with cold and famine and everything like this, I value what Theodora created and I trust that this situation is aberration in the ship's otherwise smooth operation. Since the established procedures are working, I see no reason to change them. Seen plenty of sentiment and handwriting ringing in recent days, but very little competence. I have no plans to rely on your judgment. Nope. This is... the second one is the best. Just... we are living in a new world. Abelard solemnly inclines his head. Yes, Lord Captain. After a moment's silence he adds, looking at you with interest. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now please let us leave the lower decks finally. If the rogue trader desires to stretch his legs, there are far more suitable places. Yes, of course they are.